Okay, so this is the first notes from Filverstone. Filverstone being my garden layout out there. It's going to feature sort of dead rail subjects really, battery operated O-gauge stuff. I'm going to start with something that's a bit overdue because I've been meaning to look at these products for quite a while, and that's the Pro Mini Air devices for dead rail. They're a way of getting your DCC bus from your DCC command station through the air and then into the loco and not using the track. So what inspired Pro Mini Air? Well, a number of years ago now, a company called Tam Valley brought out a couple of devices for dead rail DCC. They brought out a little transmitter here, which just connects to the track output of your command station. But it didn't matter what command station it was, because this is really just a dumb transmitter. Whatever the DCC bus was, it would just send it through the airwaves. Whatever control signals that used to appear on the track were just sent through the air. And then each loco would have a receiver. It would connect the dead rail loco to the main bus, the main DCC bus coming out of your command station. I use this quite earnestly. I was quite into these. But what really let it down was the range from the transmitter to the receiver was, well, to be honest, it was you could see it across the garden with your controller. You turn around and you'd put yourself in between the transmitter and the receiver, and it would just lose contact. So it just wasn't very good. Things I tried to do to alleviate that: a Roco DCC command station, and I put batteries inside here. Here's the transmitter, the Tam Valley transmitter in here. So I would operate this, and I would follow my locos around, and they wouldn't go out of range. But even this wasn't very satisfactory. The range was poor. So we wound forward a few years, and the appearance of Pro Mini Air. This was a prototype for the receiver. Transmitter looked very similar. A bit junky, quite big. They brought out a brand new series of receivers and transmitters that are far, far smaller. And the range is significantly improved. I wouldn't like to hazard by how many times. All I know is I can get so far away from the loco that I can't see it anymore. Not the Martot's that good. So now it's a lot. The range is not a concern anymore. That's just not a problem. So what Pro Mini Air looks like is we've got the receiver here, which you can just see is quite considerably smaller, and then there's four thin wires that connect it to the amplifier, and this is the bit that takes the very low power control signals that come from the command station transmitter, and it combines them with your battery power and then sends them into the decoder. This particular amplifier can handle 3.6 amps, so this is plenty big enough for all the big Hale-Gen diesels. But you could put much smaller wires here and just route the receiver anywhere in the loco, anywhere you needed space. The 50 is quite a roomy loco. Here's my 4 cells of Lion batteries here. There's my replacement board and an ESU L decoder plugged straight into it. But as you see, it's quite roomy. Other locos, of course, not quite so luxurious as far as space goes. So this is quite important. This is quite a small device. These terminals could be removed for an extra few millimeters. These wires could be soldered directly on to make this a bit less obtrusive. That's the receiver amplifier combination. It used to be on one chip. Same with the Wi-Fi tracks. They're all the rest have those two combined into the one board. So once your transmitter was connected to a command station, particularly if it was an advanced one, the one that would go on the network, you could connect via the Wi-Fi to it. You could then use any device that would work with that command station. So that would include things like the Wi-Fi mouse that Roco did. This would go via your Wi-Fi. It would come down to your Z21. The Z21 would send out the DCC through the air, and the Tam Valley receiver would receive that and control the loco. So you'd be able to use your wireless controller like that. The complaint was, or the observation raised, shall we say, was, well, it's all very well, but I can't afford this several £100 on some sort of advanced DCC command station in order to get these wireless controllers. So to counter this argument that Pro Mini Air needed some expensive hardware behind it really for you to use it with your dead rail locos, they came up with this standalone Wi-Fi command station. These devices are the European 869 megahertz, so it's completely legal to use them in the UK. So there was this USB powered command station, but it was Wi-Fi as well. So it just needs power, and it springs into life here. It's got a little display on it there. Well, this one is the command station. It shows you, scrolls through the name of the Wi-Fi and the password to the Wi-Fi, and which addresses to connect your app to on the port you use, and so on. The one at the bottom there is connected to the transmitter, and that just will show you the last command that was sent out via the DCC bus. You can now connect your Wi-Fi throttles to this command station. It's basically your phones, really. Your phones and your smartphones, your tablets and that sort of thing. Plus things like the TCS Wi-Fi throttle can connect to it. The controller could be your laptop. You could have your laptop running JMRI with its sort of on-screen throttles connected to this via the USB. You connect your throttle via Wi-Fi to it. DCC bus is again sent out on that frequency, and all the receivers on that frequency, well, all of them in range, will then respond if you're using that address. So I'm going to try this out, power this loco up, and I'm going to try and connect to my phone and control it. So turn that on, light on there, that's good. Where's my phone? Oh, I can't use my phone, it's filming. There's my phone up there. So that means I shall have to install the Wi-Fi throttle on my iPad, so get a coffee or something. Okay, so I'm going to connect my iPad to the Wi-Fi of the command station, and I'm launching the Wi-Fi throttle app. Let's connect to the server. 192.168.4.1. It's printed on the little display there. Port 2, I think port 2560, isn't it? Yes. Server mate is connected, okay, good. So let's control a loco 5001 set. I remember now, this is on default 3 because I reset the decoder because I was playing around with it. So back to the release 501, set 3, control number 3, let's try again. Oh, I've got to turn that clicking off on our settings. Mute sounds, there we go. Let's move a little forward. reverse. Powerfully. So, again, let's go through what's happening. The iPad is connected to the Wi-Fi of the command station. The command station is running a Wi-Fi server, which my app is connected to. So the app talks to the Wi-Fi server, sends the commands to address number 3. That's sent out through the air from the transmitter, received, combined with battery power by the amplifier, sent to the decoder. The decoder doesn't know the difference. It could be on the track. Decoder doesn't care as long as it gets a DCC bus signal. So that's how these things worked. And so this, again, this is instead of some fancy command station with a Wi-Fi connection. You can still connect actual hardware Wi-Fi throttles to the command station, like the TCS one. I don't like to use the term game changer very often, but the low cost of this and the portability, because it's plugged into a USB mains adapter here, but there's no reason why it can't just be one of those chunky batteries that you use to recharge your phones. And how long it lasts on those batteries? Quite a long time. It's only about 150 milliamps. Those bricks you can get that will charge your iPad or whatever. That's gonna run this for a couple of days or so. What if you've already got a decent DCC system, or any DCC system, in fact? You needn't get the standalone command station. You could just get the standard transmitter. This is connected to the track output of any DCC system, no matter how cheap and primitive or advanced and expensive. Connect that to your track output, and then again the DCC bus is sent out through the airwaves to all the receivers in range. So there we are. Those are the bits. Standalone command station, what they call the converter transmitter, and then there's the receiver. There's a receiver and there's a choice of 2 amplifiers, 3.6 amp or a 14 amp. If you've got DCC and you're familiar with DCC and you already run DCC stuff and you'd like to have some dead rail DCC locos, then it's worth having a look at the Premiere stuff. I have looked at this from a UK O-gauge sort of standpoint really as to what is available over here. But in the States, of course, there's several systems. I'm trying to think of them, but I'm going to print them on the screen, either here or possibly there, where you've got a lot of choice of different transmitters and things to use with the Pro Mini receiver. Okay, I think that's about it. I think I've covered. Well, I've covered all the things that I could remember, which is probably only about 60% of what I was supposed to say. But if I'll try and think of something now and then cut out the pause. No, I can't think of anything else that I should have covered, but you probably can. So leave a comment if you do think of something that I didn't talk about. Also, whether you want to be particularly cover anything else as far as Deborah low gauge goes. So there will be more notes soon. I'm going to look at Loco Remote and some Wi-Fi tracks and other things. And if you think of something else that we could look into and talk about, then please let me know. And if you manage to watch this far, then you have my respect and undying admiration. So until the next one, thank you very much. Thanks for watching.